I'm just waking up now. I had a very bizarre dream. I want to try to get it down before I forget. I remember being in some auditorium. And then I remember there were some people sitting down, older and younger people. They were black. And I remember the people, the young children, I remember they getting up and they do something weird. I wish I could remember. And I remember in the dream that, yeah, I found it hard to keep my eyes open. It's like I want to stay awake or do something, but I'm falling in a dream-like state, but I can't get out of it. I can't see straight. But at one point I remember someone else walking in the room, and they had a gun, and I said, that's weird. Why are there people walking in the room? And I remember I was with somebody else. I remember someone else that I actually knew in the dream. There was a lawyer. I think I was with some lawyers. And I remember he said, excuse me, he left the room. I think he sensed something. And he left. And I was left in the room with some people. It was a large, like a gym. And it had those seats. I wish I could remember the details. And I think they were part of like a fraternity group, some of the people. And yesterday I did meet these fraternity boys. They were the Alpha something Alpha. It's a black fraternity group. And they were feeding the people who needed food. Yesterday was Thanksgiving. But I remember, I think I wanted to escape or something. I have to back up a little bit. This part of the dream occurred twice. I was in the bathroom. And then someone who I knew got off the toilet. But this toilet was a weird toilet. Like, 1 minute it looked like a lounge chair, like a long, not a chair, but almost a shape of like when you go in a dentist's office. But it's very slick looking, And it sat low to the ground, and then it looked like a toilet too. I remember saying, hey, it didn't look like this. Wow, it looks like it's like a toilet, but it looks like something else too, like something you lie in. When the person that I knew got off from it, it had like a white knob, like 1.5 inches up, with a plastic blade. It's something that I gather spins around. And that's where your rectum would be if you're lying in it. And there was feces, like poo-poo and rice. I'm sorry to sound disgusting, but that's, yeah. I said, that's nasty. Who want to get in that? And the person gets up and walks away. The person never said anything to me. They only almost like in a zombie state. They just got up and walked out, and I looked closer at this device. And it was a miniature person inside that person. A little bigger than a Barbie doll. And the person's eyes was like kind of rolled up in the back of their head. Like they're falling asleep in it. It was very bizarre. And it was the same as the person who physically got up, the big person who got up that I knew. And then after that, I think I was in the room again, like an auditorium. And they said that we have to make a choice. I didn't know how they were, because some of the people, I think they're already shot. I think at some point I discovered that they were shooting people in the building. It was an office building. But they were to decide who's going to be on their side. And those who wanted were going to be shot on the spot. I didn't want to get shot. And I know I ran out. Somehow I did finally get out, but sometimes I would get like half asleep, half awake in the dream, and your vision is kind of fading. And then I got on some, I forget what you call it, bleachers. I think I was trying to hide behind, because I couldn't walk anymore. Something like I was in between states and I couldn't see, like states of sleep and awake. So I just kind of like curled up, hoping that they wouldn't notice me, or maybe they would think I'm dead and just leave me alone. Well, a young woman, very young woman, like in the 20s, a white girl, and she had like a shotgun in her hand, and she put it to my head. And I said, you know, I have a feeling this girl is going to shoot if I don't say something. Because the fact that I'm lying down, you know, she's going to discover if I'm dead or not. And if she shoots the trigger, then she knows I'm dead then. She wasn't going to take any prisoners. And I think they were wearing red. And that's coming to me now. I think they were wearing red. And so I just started talking. I said, look, let me tell you my story. I said, look, I'm just trying to find out what life is all about. And I used to be a Christian, and, you know, all these things happened to me. And I think at one point I started crying. I was angry. And I think then she got up and walked away. I said, well, I'm not finished my story. So I was wondering, or do they think I'm one of them because of my story, or what? That's what I was thinking. I remember some other big guy, a chubby fellow, heavy, black fellow, and he's walking around. And then I realized that him and some other people were paroling the building because they're going to use it like their headquarters. Yet it was a takeover. And then I remember on these bleachers, I see like a creature. Like something look, oh, wait a minute, let's back up a little bit. I remember, something I sat up, and then I looked at this creature. It was a dark color. It looked mechanical. I think it was a horse. Some metallic, it looked like it was built like a machine, but it was alive. And it came up to me. And I remember, I stood my ground, and as I looked right directly in it, I forget what I was thinking, whether to let him know that I'm thinking, or like if I could mind read. I'll have a thought that it could read that I wanted to know or something. That I forget what I was thinking, but it looked back at me. It was like maybe a foot away from me, and then it walked away. And I think there was somebody else sitting at the bleachers next to me. But I don't remember what happened immediately after that, but I know it was another scene. I think I might have been outside at one point. Yeah, there was some lawn of grass, and there was someone lying down by the grass, or lying down by the bushes or something in a distance. I think it was a black fellow, and I think it was he was run away from the system. That's what I got, what I thought when I saw him. And then I remember I was back in some building, and I think it was back in my parents' home. I remember I was back with that bathroom. I think I saw a doc. I forget what it was, but it's some doctor. Could have been a Jewish guy, kind of middle-aged type, 50s, 60s, and he was saying something to me that I needed to get something done. Oh, there's something else. My mom also was in it. My mom, okay. I remember my mom in her home, and she had picked up she picked up some items that was in the living room. There were those little spheres, I think, those, not moonstone, but that other clear, they use it to make wands out of, for clearing your energy, but they also have it in the ball form. And you can kind of see through it a little bit, and it's like a cloudy, clear, semi-clear crystal. And I think she took some of them and was holding on to it. She never spoke to me. Then I remember her lying down on the stairs. And then I think I went back in the room to see what she took. That's when what was wrong or something. And I think my father temporarily was in the dream too. Just at least what was happening in the house. It was like I was there, observing them, and I was trying to figure out what they're doing. And I think that's also when I saw that chair, that funny-looking chair / toilet. And I don't remember the details of my father, but he's always like in the background type thing. When I saw him, he didn't engage with me. But I was wondering why my mother was lying down on the stairs. Then I think she lied down somewhere else. I wish I could remember. But then I'm back in the bathroom, and one of my brothers was in. The last thing I can remember, I think one of my brothers was in the dream, and we're back in the bathroom, and I think that doctor, the dentist, was talking to me that I have to use this machine. And when you open up the lid, it had like a lid or something. Like 1 minute, it just, you see a white lounge chair or something, like a doctor's thing like dentist's office, something like that, but sleek. And then another minute, you could open it up. But I saw poo in it. Like a drain, but the poo is in the center of this apparatus. I said, that doctor want me to go lie in that? I said, at least let me clean it. So I was trying to rinse it down. I said, if I'm going to do anything with this, it's going to be clean. I'm going to wipe it down first. And this other family member was just sitting down next to me, squatted down, looking at this thing. And that's all that I remember. I know it's all jumbled around. The center theme of it was evil. Some evil force was taking over, and just somehow how they could just take over a building. And just one by one, people started coming in. I remember at one point, I think I had opened the door, because I was still trying to figure out what's going on. Is somebody being shot or whatever? But I see them, I think they had a rifle in their hand, and they were dragging they were dragging a lady. It was a white lady. I think it was a white lady, and they're dragging her by the feet, I think, or the hands. And you saw a trail of blood going. I said, oh shoot, they're shooting people. That's why I knew I had to get out the way. I wanted to leave. I said, boy, I don't know what's going on. What I'm concerned about the dream is I don't want to be on the side of anybody evil. I may have my past and concerns about the world and society, but I'm not about overthrowing some government or whatever by killing people and shooting people. And the element of it was just bundled up the dream, how it was introduced. You see, people coming in, and then there was a lot of blacks in this dream. Had black men and women. And they were going to shoot. They were taking over, and that white lady, one young white girl, she looked like someone who I knew in hindsight. When I had to have surgery before, on my uterus, she was one of the doctors that I saw there. Looked like her. And I was the one that put the gun to my head. And I remember I said, oh brother, is this going to be the end of my life? I don't even know this person. They're going to just shoot me? So I felt, hey, well, if I got an audience, I'm going to talk and tell them my story. Hey, this is what I'm all about. But I don't want what it's all about, them thinking that I want to support something evil. And I think on the back of my mind, I was thinking about the book of Revelation, the mark of the beast type of thing. Those who are included, those who are excluded. And I wouldn't want to feel like that I'll be abandoned to go to any type of hellish place. That was I really turning my back, because I mentioned about the church. But these people weren't about anything good. That I sensed. And about the bathroom and the pool, like they had a regular toilet next to it, but then you had this other gadget. So I was confused what is what, because every time you look at it, it's like the shape of it would change in the perception. And so what it really was hard to really know what it was, because it kept morphing in shape. I don't want to sit in pool. I'm thinking now that, who are you? Are you about righteousness? Or are you about pool? Because the first person I saw get up from it, that person is like their soul. Like, because remember when she got up, it was like a little doll shape, a miniature person in that device, almost like a coffin. Like how the coffin, when it's folded, closed, but you just see the top portion. That's what it reminded me of. And the person eye was rolled back in the head, like they're closing the eyes and it's rolling back. That's like the person's soul, isn't it? And it's tiny. Was this thing something that captured something? And so it's supposed to clean. I get that the device was supposed to clean out their GI tract. You're lying it, you close it or something, and this thing does a rotor-rooter, like a little white plastic thing that spins around, and it sucks out, it cleans out your GI tract. Did this thing want to clean me out? But the act of lying in it, and it wasn't clean, like it's supposed to flush, but it was all this residue and stuff, and I didn't want to get in it. I said, I'll only get in it if it's clean. And that's when I woke up. So that's my dream. It's very weird. Very, very weird. I might have had this dream because I was watching things on YouTube, weird stuff on YouTube, and all the media is really negative. And I had eaten something and fell asleep. So falling asleep with your stomach full could do a lot of things. So I think a lot of things was at play. And that's my dream.